There was that time when Mullah Nasruddin was on a pilgrimage in a distant country, but he went to one of those inns that's got all those beds like a dormitory. But when he lay down to sleep, he tossed and turned and tossed and turned, and the traveller in the next bed to him, who couldn't sleep either, said to him, "Mullah, what's the matter with you?" And the mullah said, "I can't sleep. I'm afraid that if I go to sleep in the morning I won't know who I am." So the traveller said to him, "Look, you've got that camel skin water bladder there. Why don't you tie it around your foot, and so in the morning when you wake up, you'll know it's you." So the mullah thought this was a wonderful idea. So he tied it to his foot, but his travel companion happened to be a bit of a joker. So when the mullah was happily snoring away, his companion took the bladder off the mullah's foot and tied it to his own. So in the morning, when the mullah woke up, he looked around and suddenly he saw the bladder and said, oh, there you are." But then he suddenly realized, and he said, well, if you're me, who am I? And then there's a story about a traveling salesman, and on the road in between towns, he happened to take a wrong turn and got completely lost. But he happened to come to a field in which there was a farmer. So he stopped his vehicle and said to the farmer, "Can you tell me the way to the main road?" And the farmer said, I don't know. And so the traveller said to him, well, can you point me in the direction of the main highway? And the farmer said, I wouldn't be knowing. And so the traveller said, can you point me in the direction of Chicago? And the farmer said, don't know. So somewhat exasperated, the traveller said to the farmer, it seems to me that you don't know anything. And the farmer said, yes, but I'm not lost. And then there's a little story about Li Tzu. He was a great student of Lao Tzu, but he'd been practicing the art of archery, and he was congratulating himself on his level of adeptship, and he wanted to demonstrate to his master, Weng Tzu, his state of ability. So he put him a glass of water on his arm and raised it, and of course held his bow, and he shot his arrow true. And then he shot another arrow, and another, and they all went into the middle of the target without even spilling the water that he had on his elbow. And he was congratulating himself on this level of ability, but his master, Weng Tzu, was not at all impressed. Not at all impressed. He said to Li Tzu, all that you've demonstrated is your ability to focus and the coordination between your eye and your hand. And that doesn't demonstrate mastership at all. So Li Tzu said to his master Weng Tzu, well, how should it be then? And Weng Tzu said, come with me. So he led Li Tzu up a mountain where they came to a cliff. And Weng Tzu said, now demonstrate your ability. Come to the edge of the abyss and shoot your arrow. And with that Weng Tzu himself demonstrated by backing over to the edge of the cliff, so his heels were over the edge. But when Li Tzu even saw his master doing this, he was shaking and sweating. And so when it came for himself to do that, he fell on his knees, full of fear. And so it was that when Tzu was able to demonstrate to him, you see, you cannot call yourself a master of archery until you can stand on the edge of the abyss and remain focused, and your eye and your hand coordinated. So when we put these three little stories together, it brings up that dilemma for us. Like with Mola, we can't find a self. We don't know who we are. And then the farmer, he knows nothing, but he's not lost. And then we find ourselves in this place where we stand every moment on the edge of the abyss with a need to be focused, our eye and our hand coordinated as we confront life. How do we solve this dilemma? Have you solved it in you yet? Can you call yourself a master archer? If not, how do we solve this? For solve it we must. Thank you.